All right, immediate thoughts.
Um, yes, I felt those techniques. You really pinpointed something that is obvious and maybe often overlooked, that the eternal self is right there.
Yes, I think that even as I bring in my eternal being these wisdoms and truths, reminding myself and all who are in my life presently and those listening in, the challenge is always the same for all. The limited identity is such a small portion of who you are, who I am as an eternal being, that to allow that is awkward. For there have been, like I said, many, many programs, emergency systems, emergency matrices, alarms that go off when the limited identity is beginning to understand that it is the eternal identity, to keep you in the limited identity so that you are certain to have all the experiences you signed up for and created in your orb to have as a limited being. So there will be alarm bells. There will be great things of fear that one must overcome. And as you know, you have been with me for many years, that there have been massive things, alarms, if you will, to keep me in fear as a limited identity, those that I have programmed in my own being. So those things will come. They'll be different for each. There are many movies where one must pass the dragons, the monsters, all the things to get to the eternal truth. Those movies are there as a reminder, so that when we find ourselves in those situations, and you have been in them yourself with your own challenges, to remember the context that we are truly in, eternal beings creating a limited world. And now we have awoken. Now is the time for the ride up, for the expansion, for the dawning of eternity through the illusion of a mortal world.
Yes, it's all very profound. Um, this honing of awareness and mastery of consciousness is all the limitation and pain and experiences we have. Is it that simple? The limitation is to hone our awareness and our consciousness.
The limitation is not a lesson. From the vantage point of the Alarian field, from Mukti and Anandama, the limitation was a desired experience. It is not to teach us a lesson. We are already masters, or we would not be in one of the most precise, the most advanced realities of limitations that we have co-created together. It is to experience limitation and then the dawning, the unfolding of our eternal nature, for the awe and wonder and the joy set out before us through that experience.
For those that feel very stuck, is there an encouragement? Does that mean they have a greater mastery to pile that much limitation? Is there any word of encouragement or advice?
Well, yes, it's recognizing that only a master could create such illusion. A master of illusion. A master of holding back the tsunami of truth, the tsunami of life, and the fullness and the ever perfecting goodness that it is to experience something that is not. Imagine the amount of energy, focus, and concentration of your eternal being that is required to hold back eternity itself. And that is the encouragement. When the genie is out of the bottle, and you realize that I am a creator being, a divine being, an individualized expression of Source and God itself. Then you begin recollecting your power and using all that power to be the force behind the next experience of slowly, and we just mean that it unfolds, not really a reference to time, but you begin to experience the great release, like a great massage that is massaging out the tension of the body, the great release of letting go of all this effort to be limited, and see how your world unfolds it in a grand movie of awakening, both in yourself, in others, and in the world itself, remembering its eternal nature, unique for each individualized expression, this movie.
What would you say to those having intense or just experiences of loss and pain? Because it is an illusion, but it can feel so real in the moment or in the memory.
One, it's very helpful to embrace that experience as an experience, to really, for a certain amount of time, notice all that is felt and thought, sort of from an outside perspective, being an investigator of that. And the recognition that one has created this moment in time, one can then choose to create anew. From the power of being an eternal being and recognizing that one can create consciously. To invite the eternal self to come into this moment of pain, this circumstance of discomfort, and then be the witness to what plays out when you allow your eternal energies, your eternal identity to come into the moment. It'll be unique. There is no fix. There is no prescription of actions or things to think. Your eternal being itself will provide all of that. Perfect. Because what you are as an eternal being and what all is in eternity is the ever-perfecting love and the all-knowing intelligence. And so in being an eternal being, that is what operates, producing a precise and perfect movie for you to experience. We hope that helps. As we do these after talks, you may notice, listener, that you'll hear the voice of Muktiananda Ma and the limited identity. As the vibration is being calibrated, as the attention is being allocated and designated more and more to the eternal identity, I do allow the limited identity to come forth for the benefit of the listener intentionally at times, so that one can see the great difference between the two, and then perhaps allow that difference within oneself for a time being until the two become one. I thank you for today, and I so look forward to meeting you in the world that we are creating together.
Thank you.